All right. Hey, welcome into the Wednesday wrap up. This is episode 2. Last week was a blast. We were talking for a fat minute. I had no clue how long we
Yeah,
were
I
going to
didn't
go.
realize at the end. I was like, wow.
Well, we didn't even have a name for it. And then Wednesday
Yeah.
wrap up. That's just what we're rolling with for now, at least. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. I'll run us through all the topics. Right now, we're going to talk about if the Broncos have for sure gotten fleeced by the Seahawks in the Russell Wilson trade. Are we shocked that the Cowboys lost with Cooper Rush against the Eagles this week? The Panthers, they're going through they're going through hell. We're going to talk about what them selling might look like. We're going to talk about if the Ravens lost or if the Giants won that game. We'll talk about the defensive rookie of the year race, who the best quarterback in football is, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, because it's for sure not Aaron Rodgers, and that's where we're starting with. Bro, the Packers are ass, man. They're cheeks. They suck.
First of all, before this even starts, I got to apologize to CJ Uzama and Sauce Gardner because I said Sauce was not gonna be good this first season, and he's proven me wrong. And I was toasting CJ Uzama for leaving the Bengals and going to the Jets, and now they got a better record.
Yeah, no, that game was fucking terrible. If I'm gonna be keep it fucking honest here, the Jets won 27-10. Zach Wilson didn't even do much. He was 10-18, 110 yards, was sacked twice. Rodgers, on the other hand, 26 of 41, 246 yards and a touchdown. He was throwing for less average. The Packers' run game looked like shit again. The Jets run game. I didn't realize this. I'm looking at the stats now. 33 carries, 179 yards. They were getting about 5.5 a clip, 2 touchdowns. They scored both of their touchdowns on basically reverses. I mean, fuck, man. Like,
bro.
And then you look.
Do you think that the emotional affair between the quarterbacks threw off their game?
No. No, dude, I
don't know why they kept bringing that up. Like,
I don't know.
Mentored by Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, okay, I get it.
It felt like some. It was obviously
they were trying to hype it up like something.
Like it it was some rivalry game. Like I realize it's cool. Like it's cool that it's like, all right, Zach Wilson was Rodgers' idol.
Cool,
it's like
it's something you bring up once and you're like, that's cool.
But yeah, like it's like the narrative. It started just to feel like, when Jimmy Graham used to play in a primetime game, they're like, oh, he played basketball. Some stupid shit like that. Like
exactly. That's exactly what it was like.
It was frustrating. But yeah, no, the Packers got their teeth kicked in. They looked just as bad on this side of the ball, or on all 3 sides of the ball today as they ever have, to be super honest with you. Offensively, they only put up 10 points. Again, they scored on a field goal right before the end of half. They scored on a touchdown after they gave up a blocked punt for a touchdown. They got a field goal blocked. Shit, man.
It was a mess.
It was a mess. It was like I think through the season so far this year, the special teams has been the best unit. And then they went out here and per PFF, I'm pretty sure it was PFF, they graded the Packers special teams on Sunday against the Jets as the worst special teams performance of the entire year so far. So you have that. You have the offense putting up 10 points. You have the defense. Granted, they only gave up 20, but you gave up 20 to the fucking Jets. Like Zach, it's not like Zach Wilson. It's not. It's like,
it seemed like they wanted to keep the Packers in the game.
Yeah, no, I think once they figured out, all right, we just need to run the ball. Yeah. Like 33. Once they decided we're going to keep the ball on the ground, take it out of Zach Wilson's hands. They had 33 rushing attempts to only 20 passing attempts throughout the entire game. Meanwhile, the Packers, on the other hand, it's the same shit every week. I come in here saying the exact same shit. I'm gonna talk about the defense for a little bit though. Here's a fun stat I saw. This is by Marcus Eversole. He works in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers, their defense allows first in the NFL in passing yards allowed, only allowing 164 yards a game. However, they are dead last in completion percentage, giving up around 71% completion percentage.
Well, so and
I'm so tired of being fucking lied to about this team. I'm so tired. And this is going to transition into an offensive rant too. I'm so tired because for a couple different reasons. One, the draft was not what it was promised to be. They went out and they drafted a backup defensive tackle in the first round. Also in the first round, they drafted who I thought was the third best linebacker in the entire class. And he's not looking good, to be super honest with you. He's missing a lot of tackles. He looks insanely lost. Georgia didn't even use him full time in college. They didn't use him full time. I honestly don't know why they're not using him like a. I realize he's not on this same level, and he's probably never going to be. But use him like a Micah Parsons. He's best when he's rushing the passer, when he's going to make a tackle. He's not great in coverage. Then you take a look. Christian Watson, he's a 6'4" fucking gadget guy, is what they have his ass doing. Their second round pick, the receiver that they traded up for and drafted. And I was pissed immediately. I wanted George Pickens, but nope, they went and got Christian Watson because he's big and tall and fast. Like
Aaron Rodgers with NFL Youngboy would have been deadly.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the biggest. Well, here's the biggest thing. I still think that Christian Watson isn't getting as many offensive snaps because of the week 1 drop. Because here's the thing. Drops have been his issue his entire time. It's the reason I didn't want the Packers to take him. He was dropping the ball on 10% of his targets in college. Dropping the ball. Not like not catching the ball. Like a ball thrown at your feet is a different thing. Dropping the ball 10% of the time. That sucks. That fucking sucks. Seriously. So I didn't want them to take him in the first place. You can watch my reaction. I was reacting. I was on the bolt when we were reacting to the second round, and I was pissed. I didn't want him. So your draft failed. Your focus on the defense draft failed. Literally, pretty much the entire draft, they're refusing to use some of their later round picks. Romeo Doubs is the only person who's getting some play, and he's nasty. He's nice. But then you look at the defense. I'm tired of getting lied to. Stop telling me you're going to put Rasul Douglas on the outside and Jair Alexander in the slot, and you're going to press more. You're going to play more aggressive. They said that shit all week, just for the first fucking series. Jair's lined out outside. Rasul Douglas is in the slot. They're playing fucking off. Stop lying.
I literally, like, the way I know that their defense ain't doing nothing is because when I'm watching these games, like games that I'm not like invested in any way, I'm watching the defense mainly because I'm like, I want to see like what they're going to respond to. And I don't remember a thing.
Exactly. No, that's the craziest thing. Like what does this defense do well? They're mediocre sack wise. They're closer to the middle, only 14 sacks through 6 games. Turnover wise, they've produced 5 turnovers against Zach Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, Justin Fields, Bailey Zappi, Brian Hoyer. They've produced 5 turnovers. They haven't produced a turnover in either of the past 2 games against Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson. The defense flat out is just not very good. I still believe that they do have talent because I don't think talent goes away like that. They're equally as talented as they were when the year started. I truly do believe that. That rush defense fucking stinks. Shocker. They're bottom 6 in rush defense again. The way they attacked the shit in the offseason, it felt like they were actually gonna, I don't know, try to stop the run. They got a linebacker who's fast and athletic. They got a defensive tackle. They went and signed Jaron Reed. They did all this shit just for it to be the exact same run defense as it's always been.
Yeah, they were getting run all over.
By the Jets. Jets. Like
Michael Carter was looking like prime Matt Forte.
Listen. And here's the thing. If the Jets like previously were like a pretty good, like if you wanted to call them like a decent rush team they were not like decent before this game. They're averaging for the entire season. They're averaging 100. Let me do the math here. Let me do the math really quick. Really quick. Because I guarantee you yards per game before this game, not good. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they were averaging around 97 rush yards per game, which right now would put you in the bottom 8. I believe now they're up to 110 yards per game. because of how atrocious that Packers run defense is. And then let's get to the offense. I'm currently in the middle of writing an article for Dairyland Express about what Aaron Rodgers. I'm sick and tired of hearing that press conference. We need to simplify the offense. We do, because I think that is true, but the way he's talking about it and the way I'm talking about it, two completely different things, to be super honest with you. He said simplify 15 times in his 16-minute press conference when talking about the offense. I think what made the offense over the past 2 years so good is that they kind of meshed Mike McCarthy's offense with Matt LaFleur's offense in terms of the running concepts or LaFleur. The passing concepts, for the most part, are McCarthy. There is some LaFleur, like, play action stuff in there. But then you lose MVS and Devontae, pretty much the only two people who were in that system. Obviously, you had Randall Cobb last year, and you had him a little bit this year, but he's injured and looks like he's going to be out for a while. But now, I mean, seriously, like, it was nice to be able to, like, when the run game wasn't working, they had 22 different games over LaFleur's first 3 years where they didn't have at least 100 rushing yards. And they were 13-9, which isn't a great record, but it's, like, passable, right? Like, each year they were, I believe it was 4-3, 5-3, and then 4-3 again when they weren't able to get 100 rushing yards, which is pretty good. I mean, Rodgers has had better records because generally he hasn't had a run game. And he's even put together some pretty good performances. 2019 against the Eagles, they lost by 7. They had a chance to tie it late. They were on the goal line, turnover on downs. 2020, they lost in overtime to the Colts, 31-34. And then they also lost the NFC Championship game against Tampa Bay. It was 31-26, but they had a chance to tie it late. First and goal from the 8. 2021 against the Vikings, they also lost 31-34. They tied it up with 2 minutes to go. So it's not like the offense, when they weren't able to run the ball, it's not like the offense just completely sputtered. But then you talk about this year, they're 1-2. They're 1-2 when they don't get 100 yards rushing. And listen, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers barely. They put up 14 points. Let's keep it real there. They did not look good against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They looked pretty good the first quarter, and then the second Aaron Jones fumbled on the goal line. It was like the offense said sayonara. They were packing up for the offseason already.
No, for sure.
Then you take a look. Then it's the last 2 games against the New York teams, right? It's the game against the Giants in which the team put up 22, but the offense put up 20. And then you take a look in this game, 10 against the Jets. What does that work out to? I think that works out to about 44 points a game, or 44 points in 3 games. That breaks down to about 15 points a game, which I think would put you dead last in points per game so far this year. Actually, sorry. It would put you dead last. It would put you below the Broncos, the Bears, and the Steelers is what it would do. But when you talk about on the other side, when they get 100 yards rushing, bro, like, the offense is ridiculous. The team is ridiculous. They are 26-4 when they get 100 or more yards under LaFleur. Run the ball. Stop this hero ball bullshit from Rodgers. Cut it out. I talked about how bad he was passing deep balls last week. He didn't get any better this week. I'll tell you that. He was 6-22 last week. Now he's up to 8-29. Congrats. You missed 7. You connected on 2. That still sucks. You have 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. That sucks. That's not very good. But it all predicates back to the run game. They have to run the ball to be able to be successful. Aaron Jones, listen, this team in terms of rush attempts is 15th. There's no reason you shouldn't be first. Truly. There is no reason you shouldn't be first. You're 15th in pass attempts as well. They're 15th in pass attempts as well. So it's not like they're just airing the ball out. But it's like, bro, it was a pretty close game, I would say. Although I thought that the Jets pretty much had control of the game the entire time. That makes me feel gross even saying that. But literally, like, throughout the entire game, like, listen to these Packers drives. First drive, punt. Second drive, punt. Third drive, punt. Fourth drive, missed field goal. Fifth drive, punt. Sixth drive, fumble. Then a turnover on downs. Then another field goal. Like, the game wasn't out of hand until you made it out of hand. Your defense even got to stop outside a half, and then you punted again, and then the Jets went touchdown, field goal, end of the game. Like, you were in the game the entire time. There's no reason Aaron Rodgers should have thrown that ball 45 times like he did. No reason. There's zero fucking reason. And especially when you take a look, A.J. Dillon has been not great this year. He's not even getting 4 yards a carry. He has 1 less touch than Aaron Jones the entire season. Aaron Jones is getting 5.8 yards a rush. Both games, the Packers have scored 27 points, and I've said this stat before: 18-2 when Aaron Jones has 19 or more touches. They've scored 27 points twice this entire season. The Packers have in those games. Aaron Jones 19 touches and 18 touches. Get back to running the ball. I like Aaron Rodgers talking about simplify the offense. I agree. Take out the McCarthy shit. Take it out. Yeah. Run LaFleur's offense. That's the same offense that got you 2 MVPs. I realize you don't have Devontae, and I realize you don't have MVS, but he talked about McCarthy's entire scheme was based off of matchups. And hey, you got to beat your guy one-on-one. I don't think the Packers have the receivers to beat guys one-on-one. So you know what that means? You got to scheme them open, and that's what LaFleur's scheme does. That's why Devontae Adams was so unstoppable the past 3 years, because on one hand, he could get open on his own if he needed to, but he could also get schemed open. They don't have a single guy who's getting open on their own. I think Dobbs can get there towards the end of the season, but you're putting way too much pressure on a 4th-round rookie to be able to go out there and be Devontae Adams. And it's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
It's sad. I don't know.
Dude, they're going
backwards.
They're going. No, it's like, and it gets worse every week, because it's like every week I'm going to hear, because I'm tired. I told you I'm tired of being lied to about the defense, tired of being lied to about the draft class that I was told, oh, it's going to be fine. And I'm tired of being lied to about the offense. Every week they come out here, oh, we need to get Aaron Jones the ball more. 4 first-half touches. What the fuck are you doing? It's not like you went into the half down 27-0, guys. It's not.
Jesus.
It truly is not. You went into the half tied 3-3. Like, it's not like you had to abandon the run game at all. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to state it any more than that. I know you were cheesing. You were telling me Sauce was gonna lock some folks up, and he did. That Jets defense looked really good. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm not gonna do. Because I see a lot of Packers fans doing this. Now all of a sudden, the Jets and Giants, when we played them a couple weeks ago, before we played them, oh, they're a garbage team.
Yeah, no.
And now all of a sudden they're world beaters because they beat us.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I don't think that the Jets are Giants. To be honest with you, this is gonna ruin the Giants segment for later. I don't think the Giants are super good. To be super honest with you, I think they're going to be good once they get, a real quarterback back there. But like, the Packers lost.
Those are my exact thoughts.
The Packers lost bad to 2 bad teams, or at least teams that have zero reason to be competing with what I think the Packers should / could have been.
Yeah. It's 100%.
I don't know. I'm tired of watching their games. It's making me so beyond angry, to be super honest with you. I can't do this shit, to be honest with you. But hey, I have been on this train.
Oh,
I've been on this train for a while. Did the Broncos get fleeced train, but the Russell Wilson is overrated train. And everybody, hop on board, folks.
Definitely has.
Hop on board, guys. I have been on this train for a while. I've continuously said he won the Super Bowl, sure. Or he was on the team that won the Super Bowl. He didn't win him the Super Bowl. Everyone wants to keep talking about, oh, he won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. This is a stat I pull out every time, and there's no defense for it. They were up 29-0 in the Super Bowl on the Broncos, and Russ didn't even have 100 passing yards yet. Let's stop pretending like he really did anything. The score was 2-0 before he touched the ball. Peyton Manning threw a pick 6. Like, let's stop pretending Russ was like the mastermind behind this offense. Geno Smith, this year's Geno Smith could have led that team to a Super Bowl, or been on the team to carry him to a Super Bowl.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but the question is, and I know how I feel about it. Did the Broncos get fleeced? Yep. Seattle sold them a lemon.
100%.
Seattle saw what was going on.
It's only going to get worse, because the Broncos are going to keep losing. The Seahawks are going to get a good pick, and they're going to get, hopefully, maybe they trade that pick away because they can't pick in the first round, but they'll probably get something good out of that with that high of a pick, and the Broncos will just look even stupider when Russell's still. I don't know. Maybe there's a way they turn it around, but I'm like, I think that, and then go into a week, and I'm like, it does not look like, even if they started getting him in a good scheme, this dude is just, he can't even throw.
Bro, he's cooked. And no, he's cooked. And this is the dumbest thing. It's like clockwork. He's injured alerts keep coming out. He's dealing with the shoulder injury. Well, you know what? He was dealing with the shoulder injury through the first 4 games when he was looking like shit too. So, or he wasn't dealing with the shoulder injury when he was looking like shit, and now he's dealing with a hamstring injury. He very well may be, but man, that's
y'all tripping.
Lame. That is, dude. At this point, if you really take a look at it, they have the second worst offense in the league. I'm gonna continue to bash the Packers all the time, but man, like at least their offense looks.
Packers.
Their offense looks better than whatever the hell the Broncos are throwing out there.
Yeah, bro.
Like even if it's just by a little bit, man. The Broncos have a worse scoring offense than the Bears, the Steelers, the Commanders, the Panthers. The Panthers who literally just fired their
Thursday night game.
No, always. That's always how it looks. To be honest with you, like they have their best offensive performance this season. They put up 23 points and lost. Like,
yeah,
dude, their cheeks. Their cheeks, and the worst part of all of it is, and I've never been on this train of like, at least for a quarterback, like I haven't seen him play, and I guess it doesn't really happen super honest, but you saw it happen with Stafford last year. They paid him after he won them a championship. The Broncos backed up the 5-year, whatever it was, $250 million Brinks truck just for him to, before he even, like, he signed it. They're stuck with him. Like they can't get out of it until 2027, I think, at the earliest. Like they are screwed. They're screwed because here's the thing. I usually I think I can deal with bad throws. Like I think fixing someone's mechanics is possible. Mm-hmm. But Russ is making bad decisions. And once your mind goes, you are screwed.
Yeah.
You're torched. Like if you really take a look at like that game, especially like against the Colts, like everyone's going to dunk on him for all of those ones. It's like, dude, he made 3 horrible decisions. Didn't throw it to the slant over the middle on 4th and goal. He threw up an arm punt when you're in field goal range to like, that was not even 10 yards with like near his receiver. And then you take a look and then he tries to like pick on Gilmore. Like if there was a corner I'm picking on, it's not Stephon Gilmore. I'm promising you that.
Yeah.
It's not Stephon Gilmore. Like you can fix, I truly think you can fix bad throws. You can't fix bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes
I'm just speechless when I am thinking about this because I'm like, there's no defense. This dude is just done.
Mm-hmm. He is cooked. I mean, you really take a look at it, and it's like the biggest thing with Russ, at least, has always been his deep ball, but 2, he was always like pinpoint accurate. And it's like he's one of the least accurate quarterbacks in football this year.
Yeah,
he has less than 59% completion percentage. Dude, he looks bad, and the worst part is that like the offensive line that they're dealing with right now, it's only getting worse. I think Garrett Bowles left with a fractured leg. Strap up, little buddy. You are going to get robbed. Yeah. He's been sacked 20 times through 7 games this year, or 6 games this year. Damn. And now one of your tackles
He's about to be in the race with Joe Burrow.
No, seriously. Like here, I'm gonna take a look because I'm pretty sure like it wouldn't shock me if they're probably tied at the top of the league for sacks. And it's like, again, Russ has not looked super mobile. Okay, so it's Carson Wentz and Justin Fields have both been sacked 23 times. Damn. Matthew Stafford 22, Matt Ryan and Joe Burrow 21, then Russell Wilson at 20.
God damn.
Like here's the thing, and especially like again, I think Russ is probably cooked. I'm not gonna 100% say it because I don't want to look stupid, but it's like
I know. I'm like, there's a possibility, but
if you look at the caliber of quarterbacks he's around with the amount of times being sacked, because again, it goes Wentz and Fields both tied at 23. Stafford's a good quarterback, but he's at 22. I think he's still dealing with his elbow thing, but also his offensive line is pure buns. Matt Ryan is not a good quarterback at this point in his career. The fact that they have a winning record is just, I don't understand it. Joe Burrow, trash offensive line, 21. Russell Wilson, trash offensive line, plus he keeps running himself into sacks at 20, then Daniel Jones at 7 at 19, and then you have to go all the way down to 15 before you get Rodgers, Mayfield, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting sacked way more than he ever has. And I honestly think, I truly think this, it's not shocking that everywhere Russell is going, every year, the offensive line looks bad. Maybe it's him. Because, again, we talked about this last week, I'm pretty sure. What's the way to handle when your offensive line sucks? Get that thing out quick.
Yeah, you got to get it out quick.
Get it out
quick. And he likes to throw that deep ball. He likes to go out there and improvise.
Yep, and improvising behind an offensive line is going to get you hurt. It's going to get you hurt for sure. Yeah, they are going through it for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It's a bad time to be a Broncos fan for sure.
Yeah, and he quit saying "Let's ride." You see that he walked off after his press conference. Didn't say Broncos country. Let's ride. He's going through it. He's going through it.
And his teammates aren't messing with him either. The mental game is not going to get any better.
No chance. Like,
because the coaching ain't going to get better.
Oh, that's for sure.
That's the last hope. If the coaching could somehow flip, I feel like that's where they could maybe get a light bulb and get some confidence back in there. But
it's like, again, I'm no fan of Mike Florio, and I take what he says with a grain of salt every time. But it's like he went out there and apparently he talked to Sean Payton, and based on his interview with Sean Payton, or him talking to Sean Payton, they like asked him about the court, a possible like availability for like the job for the Broncos. Like, would you take it? And basically what Florio was saying is that he got the vibe that it's like, if Russell's quarterback, no thanks. Like, I'm good. Like, damn. Yeah. Like, it's not going to get any better. Like, and even when they fire Nate Hackett, because it's not a if, it's a when.
Yeah.
When they do it, all they're going to be doing, bringing someone else new in with a new offensive system, and then we get another year of excuses. Oh, he's learning the system. How do you expect him to do this?
And he turns into Baker Mayfield.
Exactly. Dude, I mean,
except this dude's in his 30s.
Yep. I mean, again, through 6 games, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. At least, again, Rodgers is playing like human garbage, but at least he's at 9 touchdowns and 3 picks. Like, at least he's got 9. Like, yeah. Again, that's not good, and that's one of the lowest he's had in his entire career. But like, Russell is looking rough. Speaking of another team that's looking rough, man, the Panthers they're going to be running people out of there. They had
Amazon Prime next day delivery.
Bro, if you guys didn't hear, Robbie Anderson got kicked out of the game after arguing with, I believe it was Steve Wilkes, their interim head coach, after Rule got fired, and sent him to the locker room. And next day, before Monday Night Football, I'm pretty sure his ass was sent to Arizona.
And he's playing next week.
He's going to be playing next week, probably. Yeah.
So,
and that you take a look, and all the rumors is that they're asking for one. This is crazy. They're asking for 2 first-round picks for Christian McCaffrey. Lol. They're not getting 2 first-round picks for an injury-prone running back. This ain't the Seahawks getting Jamal Adams. That no one's giving up 2 first-round picks for an injury-prone player. DJ Moore is apparently, I don't know if they're going to get rid of him. They just signed him to a 3-year deal in the offseason. Let's say hypothetically they did get rid of him in the draft. Wouldn't they just be looking for the next DJ Moore? I think it's kind of stupid. Brian Burns is the other one, and everyone's thinking that they probably won't get rid of him, but maybe they will. He's the biggest name on that team, probably outside of McCaffrey, but I think he's better at his position than McCaffrey is at his, especially when it comes to availability.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Panthers are going to sell. I should have worded this question different. What do you do?
How much? Yeah.
How much? I mean, do you strip this,
blow everything up? Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, just take what you can get for all these people, because they're not. I don't know if you can trade and get anywhere with what they got. Like, that's not a ding at their talent, but like, they got talent, but you can't rely on McCaffrey. I mean, they shipped Robbie Anderson out before. I mean, and is he even really anything? Like, I don't even know if we still really know. DJ Moore, it's kind of the same deal. He's good though. But like, can we get him a QB? And what's going on with that situation? Like, there's too many questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, you look throughout their entire roster, like it feels like I just don't see talent a whole lot. Like, quarterback, obviously, no talent. You got Mayfield, Darnold. We'll see what happens with Matt Corral, but PJ Walker, I think at this point, is just going to probably wind up being a career backup. Obviously, McCaffrey and DJ Moore, but McCaffrey has his own issues. DJ Moore, I don't think they'll be getting rid of him, but potentially. But if you do, then you're looking at Shi Smith, Laviska Shenault, and Terrence Marshall Jr., so maybe some upside, of some second-round picks there. Offensive line, obviously, you're not going to sell the first-round tackle you just took in Ike Mekwonu. Then you move over to the defense, right? Brian Burns, if they don't want to pay him, I guess. I don't think Shaq Thompson's going to want to get sold. Frankie Louvu looks pretty good, but I don't think they're going to be, they're not going to be selling him. Shout out Frankie Louvu, former Coug. And then they're not going to get rid of J.C. Horn. They just got him in front of after Pat Surtain, or before Pat Surtain in whatever draft that was. So I don't see that happening. I don't know if I
really in a fucking boulder in a hard spot.
Exactly. And it's like, and the craziest part of all of it really is like they gave up so much capital to get. They didn't give up a whole lot to get Baker, but if I remember correctly, but they gave up enough to get Darnold. They gave up like two third-round picks to go get Matt Corral. You don't have overwhelming amounts of draft capital. And it's the biggest thing I've said with the Seahawks for sure. And like they just kind of replenished it with the Rush or with the Russ trade. But like at this point, the Panthers are going to be trading just to get their picks back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're not going to be getting a surplus of picks. They're just trying to get picks back.
Yeah.
That's a
that's a horrible spot to be in when you're trying to rebuild.
Like literally, like the Seahawks, it seems like it's going to wind up working out pretty well for them. But if you ask them, would you do that Jamal Adams trade over again? No, they wouldn't.
No,
they would not. They'd keep those picks. They'd probably still kick Russ out.
Yeah,
and then they'd have an extra however many picks throughout however many years. But it's like the Panthers are in a really bad situation where they're going to be trying to get capital back. Because I think I think last year it's like they had their first round pick and then they didn't pick again till like the fourth round until they traded up to get Corral. So it's like they are in a
another team that is not going to be fun to be a fan of right now.
No, dude, if you take a look at it, Tom Brady had that quote. I'm sure you heard it like a couple of weeks ago, basically saying there's a lot of bad football. Dude, there's a lot of really bad teams. There's a lot of really bad teams. You take a look at the NFC, right? Like, let's just take a look at the NFC. Panthers, yuck. Detroit Lions, up and coming, but still at this point, ugh. Chicago Bears, gross. Arizona Cardinals, gross. Commanders, ugh. Saints, ugh. Like the Seahawks are what? They're probably like a legit quarterback and I don't know, a real defense away from competing. Then you look at the Falcons and they're the fact that they are 3-3 and 6-0 against the spread this year. I have no idea because that is probably the least talented roster in the entire NFC. And I mean that no joke. It is one of the worst. It's one of the worst rosters in the entire NFC.
I'm with
then you start and now now we're in territory for like the people who I think are actually like NFC contenders, if you want to call them that. Packers, their team looks like shit. The Los Angeles Rams, they don't have an offensive line. Cam Akers looks like he's about to get shipped out. Matthew Stafford doesn't look right. Gross. The San Francisco 49ers, but they just got dominated by the Atlanta Falcons. But I think they have some talent. Tampa, what's going on with Tom Brady? Probably the same thing that's happening with Aaron Rodgers. I think they're getting a little up there in age. And then you start getting like the four best teams in the NFC are the Cowboys, Giants, Vikings, and Eagles, who are quarterbacked by currently right now Cooper Rush, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, and Jalen Hurts. I'm going to hold out on Jalen Hurts just for a little bit. I want to see him do something not in the regular season. And so that's not like a huge shot at Jalen Hurts. Win a playoff game. Like that's
let's see what you're about.
Before we start anointing him top 10, let's wait for him. It's like you got that. Then you take a look at the AFC, and it's like the Broncos, Browns, the Steelers look horrible. The Texans look bad. The Raiders are talented, but they're down in the dumps. Like there's I think once you get past like the top 5 teams, so what? Probably the Bills, Chiefs, Eagles. If you want to put the Bucks in there, sure. The Chargers. Like, what do you got? Like, not a whole lot of anything to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I don't know. I was thinking that same thing. There's not a lot. There are no standouts as of yet, unless it's like the Bills or the Chiefs.
Bills, Chiefs, Eagles. And if you want to throw the Dolphins in there, sure, I'll give you that. I don't believe it, but if you want to throw them in there,
I don't know.
That's
We'll see
fine by me.
When I don't even know. I don't even want to say when Tua comes back because he should not be playing. I would not be playing for the rest of the season. I'm gonna keep it real, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Oof. Let's go. You want to talk Giants, or you want to talk Ravens, or you want to talk the Dallas Cowboys?
Let's talk about them boys.
Let's talk about them boys, man. The Cowboys lost with Cooper Rush. They were getting smoked pretty much the entire game. Or sorry, at least in the first half. They went into half. They went into half down 20-3. At one point, they were down 17-0. They were down 20-0 at one point. Then they got a field goal before the end of half. Then they made a huge comeback at the end of the first half, but Cooper Rush threw 3 interceptions in the entire game. I fucking told you so. Like there's nothing else better for me to say, right? I told you before this he hadn't been in a game where he was down by as many scores as he had never been down more than 7 points in the NFL. How does he respond by going down by 7 points this week? Interception on the first play. Then the Eagles go down and they score a touchdown. Then he goes down and he turns it over on downs. Then the Eagles get a field goal. Then he throws another interception.
Like, they were really smoking him with his girl in the stands.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Tough. like I don't know.
They really brought that up and homie's getting smoked. I was like, that's absolutely disrespectful.
Yeah. I don't. It's for anyone watching, it's not shocking. He threw the ball now. He threw it 38 times. Duh, that's what's going to happen when you have Cooper Rush throwing the ball 38 times. This is the exact same game plan you'd think they'd have with Dak Prescott. Down early, abandon the run. And they still ran the ball fairly well. Like Zeke had 13 carries, 81 yards. Tony Pollard was less effective, but I mean, as a team, they're rushing for about 5.2 yards a carry on 26 carries. Like their defense didn't even play bad. If that's as they gave up 26 points. It's the first time they've given up 20 or more points the entire season. Listen, the touchdown drive they gave up was
talking crazy too.
The first touchdown drive they gave up was rough. 15 plays, 80 yards, chewed up 7.5 minutes off the clock. That can't happen. However, you know what also can't happen is throwing a pick on the first play after your defense just gave up a 7.5 minute, 80-yard drive. You can't throw a pick on the next play because here's what happens: 7 plays, 44 yards, and another touchdown. Like your defense was gassed, absolutely gassed.
Yeah,
like you
again back-to-back drives.
Again, basically
after almost 8-minute drive.
After an 8-minute drive, you give them one play, a kickoff and one play to rest, and then they're back out on the field. And then again, they wound up making, after those first 2 touchdowns, they didn't give up they gave up one second half touchdown where it was another. Again, that one is one where I think fair enough. Like they needed to the defense needed to get a stop there. The offense put up a 15 play, 93-yard drive, took 7 minutes off the clock. And then the Eagles responded. And that one put the Cowboys down by 3. And then the Eagles responded 13 plays, 75 yards, another 7.5 minutes off the clock. But it's like Cooper Rush puts you in too big of a hole. Like a good quarterback doesn't put you in that sort of hole.
Yep.
He doesn't.
Now,
and I told you so.
We just got to see what happens when Dak gets plugged back in.
Well, they're lucky that they are very lucky that they get to play the Lions and Bears are their first 2 games with Dak Prescott. Then they get
games.
Then they get a bye, and then they get to play another shit team in Green Bay. So, you quite literally could not ask for a better start. You come out and you play the Detroit Lions, who are giving up 34 points a game. Week, what would it be? 10? 4 weeks from now. 4 weeks from now.
Oh, so is it like Thanksgiving?
It's not Thanksgiving. I think it's the week before. Yeah, it's not Thanksgiving. It's the week. I think it's the week before. It might even be the Thursday night game if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. No, I think it's either way. Either way, they get to play them, and then they get to play the Bears. Yeah, the Bears have a pretty good defense, but the Bears offensively are anemic. So Dak will be able to get kind of eased back into it. All you got to do is beat the Bears, and I think that defense is going to be able to shut down. They'll shut down the Lions. Who knows? Who knows? Well, hey, let's talk about another NFC East team.
Hey.
The Giants, they got to win over the Giants. They got to win this week over the Baltimore Ravens. It was, I believe, 24-20.
I got to make my announcement.
What's that?
I would have been way happier had this game not ended the way it did. But I'm gonna actually commit to the Ravens for the rest of the season. So
there you go. That'll
be my team. You can shit on them, and it'll actually offend me.
It's actually going to offend you?
Probably not, but if it'll probably make you feel better if you think that.
I mean, as long as we've known each other, you've never had a team. So
yeah, not really.
It's always been tough. But yeah,
this is gonna be the season. I'm gonna stick with the Baltimore Ravens. I was born in Maryland, so
there you go.
There
you go. Represent.
I've been a fan.
Been a fan, lifelong fan. All right.
Facts.
This is another game where the Ravens blew a double-digit lead. They blew a 10-point lead. This comes after, of course, whatever it was, 4 weeks ago, they blew a 21 or I think it was a 28-point lead.
Yeah.
Whatever it was,
yeah.
to the Miami Dolphins. Then they blow a 17-point lead to the Buffalo Bills. Now they blow a 10-point lead to the Giants. And in that, of course, the last two drives from the Ravens ended in a Lamar Jackson interception and then a Lamar Jackson fumble that wound up sealing the game.
I was screaming. I was pissed when he fumbled. I'm like, this is not this is not the dude I've been backing up all these weeks. Come on, man. Gotta protect the ball. I was pissed.
Yeah, it gave all the Lamar haters a bunch of fuel. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's the main reason I was pissed.
I'll tell you that because again, I was here defending him through whatever it was 3-4 weeks as him being the NFL MVP. I don't know how you look at his past 3 games and tell me that
it ain't going good for him right now for that.
It's
MVP
not.
Rate.
You really take a look after week 1. Has he been super impressive throughout the entire game? Obviously, the Ravens game or the game against the Dolphins, that's a game that you're as a team you can't blow. So I'm not going to put that on him. You put up 38 points, your defense should be able to hang on.
100%.
So I'm not going to put that one on him. But it's all right, you looked okay against the Patriots. I bet on you, and you won me some money, so thank you. But it's then after that, you blow a lead against the Bills. Then you don't look super good against the Bengals, to be super honest with you. You don't look good against the Bengals. You had in those 2 games, in the Bengals game and the Bills game, you had 2 times one time where Lamar throws a pick into the end zone against the Bills on 4th and goal. And I don't hate the going for it call. I'm for being aggressive. You can't throw a pick there because the strategy is if you throw an incomplete pass or you get stopped, they have to drive at 98 yards.
Yeah.
Nope, they get to start on the 20. You gave up. Didn't get the points or the field position, so double negative there. And then you looking against the Bengals last week on Sunday Night Football. They did. John Harbaugh got pressured. He got pressured. He had him out on the field to go for it on 4th down. Wound up trying to hard count him. After you were in the middle of an 8-minute drive, you tried to hard count him. You took the delay of game, and then Justin Tucker nailed the field goal. Because you were you were trying to be cute. You wound up making your lead 16 to 10, moving up, making a 1-score game. A 1-score game. So you really didn't do yourself much. Yeah, they needed a touchdown instead of a field goal. But hey, your defense gave up a 13-play, 75-yard drive that was almost 8 minutes, and then Lamar winds up getting you in field goal range with 2 minutes left to kick the game-winning one with Justin Tucker. But it's the Ravens blew. I truly believe the Ravens blew this game against the Giants. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Ravens have blown multiple games this year. If this was just some miraculous comeback where it was just they got a stop, score, stop, score. Nope. The Ravens gave you 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
I don't buy the Giants. I
was feeling the same exact way. The Ravens gave them the win. And I'm like, I'm not not there. Literally Daniel Jones. Like I'm not there on specifically him, so I can't be behind that 5-1 record.
No, I don't believe so.
I'm
either.
rooting for them though. Like I love Saquon. Like their defenses, they're out there balling out. They're doing their thing. Like, but
yeah, I mean,
that
again,
quarterback situation.
Lamar
I've
Jackson
not sold on him yet.
Lamar Jackson has 6 interceptions through 6 games, 13 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns, but 6 interceptions isn't going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. And
he can't make up for the interceptions with his 100 yards on the ground because you're still turning the ball over.
Yeah, no, exactly. 100%. Like the biggest thing, like literally if the Ravens go 3 and out there, I trust, like if they go 3 and out in that drive, in the drive that they wind up throwing the interception on, or not 3 and out, if they wind up punting, it's a way different story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a way different story. Yeah, your defense hasn't been great, and maybe they still give up the score anyway. But like you can't turn the ball over if you're Lamar there.
No.
Twice. Like once is bad. Twice is especially with a 10-point lead, or I guess with a 7-point lead. God. 5 plays. They wind up taking that back to the Baltimore 13-yard line. They wind up taking it all the way back, so they only have to go 3 yards for or 13 yards for a touchdown. Then you fumble 2 plays into your next drive. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for them.
And they're playing the Chiefs next, right?
I think so. Yikes. Sorry. They don't get the Chiefs until they don't have the Chiefs on their schedule this year. That's lucky.
For real? Oh.
They get the Browns, Buccaneers, Saints, and then a tune-up game against.
Who plays
the
the Chiefs next?
The Chiefs play. Let me see. I think because I don't think the Chiefs are on a bye this week. The Chiefs play the 49ers this weekend. Yeah.
I don't know I don't know why I was thinking that. I was about to say. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, because there's not the Chiefs defense generally is not great.
But the Ravens defense is horrible.
It's horrible. So and
Patrick Mahomes be dicing that bitch up. I don't understand it either. Like with those corners, like you would not expect them to be getting toasted like that.
Torched.
Not like bottom of the league toasted. Like
here's the thing. I expect Marcus Peters to get toasted on 5 to 10 deep balls a year, but but he's also going to make up for it with interceptions. Like that's how he plays football.
Yeah, but he plays football like J.R. Smith shoots.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, you take
Same
a look at it
too.
You take a look at it, and it's like this year, Marlon Humphrey he has 2 picks. I don't think Marcus Peters has 1 interception. They're taking the ball away. Their defense is. They have 8 picks on the year, and they have recovered 4 fumbles. But their defense hasn't looked good. It really hasn't, especially when
it don't matter if you recover them 4 fumbles and you've given up 38 points.
Exactly. I mean, you take a look like what was their defensive, like their most impressive performance was probably Cincinnati, and even in that they gave up a damn near 8-minute touchdown drive for the Bengals to take the lead with less than 2 minutes left. Like your most impressive, you only gave up 9 to the Jets, but the Jets had Joe Flacco. Then you gave up 42 to the Dolphins. You gave up 26 to the Patriots, 23 to Buffalo. But again, you gave up a 17-point lead. We already talked about Cincinnati, and then now New York, whose offense truly is not good. Is not good.
It's just Saquon. If they're
Saquon.
passing, they're passing to Saquon. Daniel Jones will take a negative if it's passing to Saquon because he's like, he might break a tackle.
Yeah. So yeah, the Ravens lost that game. Sorry, Giants fans. That one might hurt a little bit, but hey, defensive rookie of the year race. This one, who is your pick so far? Who do you got?
Honestly, I'm like no bias. I'm going with Woolen.
Yeah, it's tough not to go with him.
Yeah.
It really is. So here, like, I think he would be my pick so far through this year, right? Obviously, I think he has 4 picks. He has picks in 4 straight games this season, which
70-yard pick 6,
which is just
2 recoveries on fumbles.
Yeah, which is just like ridiculous for him. But who do I think's going to win it? I think you're looking at Sauce.
Yeah, that's
right.
And
because I'm
thinking right now, unless like he's gonna have to keep this streak going for the next 4 games.
But
Comes out, get 8 picks in the season.
But I think it's also like a bias thing.
Yeah,
like Sauce.
I know
is
that's why I'm
have
like
that
he's got to
first
keep
round
balling
bias.
because I think Sauce with that like with his comparison with like the Richard Sherman comparison and all that stuff. I honestly feel like throughout the year they're gonna continue to like not throw his way, and I think that Woolen will keep getting tested and like keep getting opportunities to get turnovers.
Yeah, I think that I think Woolen at least so far this year should win it. But I don't think he does, and I don't think that that's anything that has to do with him. I think it has to do with where he was drafted, and I think that that's the voters are really going to look at it like we truly know offensive and defensive rookie of the year. It's basically offensive rookie of the year. It's usually, hey, what rookie quarterback was the best, and if there's no good rookie quarterbacks, it's like, all right, what first round wide receiver was fantastic, and then defensive rookie of the year, it's basically just like, all right, what defensive player was taken top 10 overall, and we're going to take them. So, So sadly for Woolen, I don't think he's going to wind up getting it. But so far through this year, he's got to be the guy you point at and think that he's going to wind up winning it. Now, the main event, because I know you and me are going to be disagreeing with this one. Who is the best quarterback in football? Your guy, Josh Allen, or my guy, Patrick Mahomes?
I don't know, man.
Because I mean, you know who I got. You know who I have. The results of this game do not mean anything to me, to be super honest.
Because that's what I've been thinking about this whole week is I don't even care about that win because they didn't blow them out the water. So
well, it's like even for me, you take a look. Josh Allen, he's 0-2 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Yikes, that's not good. Especially one being in the AFC Championship a couple years ago. Last year, obviously, it was the best thing, or it was the best game of the entire year in the divisional round. And everyone, the Bills defense got embarrassed so bad that they had to change the rules for overtime. I think. Listen, here's why I think it's Patrick Mahomes. One, I think he has the MVP. And I think that holds him higher until Josh Allen gets an MVP. He also has the Super Bowl ring. And that's a huge part of it. That is a huge part of it. And that's not to say that, like, if Patrick Mahomes falls off a cliff, like if he just starts playing like garbage, throwing 20 picks, 20 touchdowns, like Jameis Winston type of stuff, and Josh Allen's obviously better. That doesn't mean you can't overtake him. But if they're both close, Mahomes is going to get the edge every time because he's 2-0 against him in the playoffs. He has the ring. He has the MVP. And the craziest part of this, because I think everyone is going to take this game and be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions. Josh Allen didn't. It's like, bro, do you not remember last year?
Yeah.
They kicked the shit out of the Chiefs in Arrowhead. And still, even with that, it wound up being in Kansas City in the playoffs. I truly don't think Kansas City's out of it in terms of that. I also, when you take a look at it, like they're 1A, 1B, but Patrick Mahomes, the reason he's 1A is because he has the stuff. He's won the stuff, but also the degree of difficulty that Patrick Mahomes is now doing it with. One, he doesn't have a consistent running game. When they try to run the ball, I think they're fine. But he's been dealing with that for a while. He's going without Tyreek Hill, which I think is something that's significant. You saw MVS's experience and his lack of hands basically gift Mahomes an interception. But again, even going back to last year, the most impressive part of the entire that game for me was Mahomes. Well, obviously the 13 seconds. Everyone seems to forget whenever they're making this case for Allen over Mahomes. Dude, the Bills had the number 1 ranked defense. And Mahomes cut through them like nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think I sent it to you on a TikTok. It's like they were talking about Mahomes versus Allen or something like that. I'm like, bro, Allen is dicing up the Chiefs defense. And listen, they're NFL players, so it's impressive. But bro, if you have Mahomes against the Chiefs, you know what I mean? Like if you switched them sides, who do you think is going to be more successful? And I think it would be Mahomes with Diggs over Allen with Kelsey. At this point, I just think that the degree of difficulty that they're going against, especially you take a look at the end of the game, Von Miller was the difference in that game.
Yeah.
Miller was. Yeah. He shows up in big games. You can say anything you want about Von Miller. Maybe I think towards the end of the year, he might fall, go off the hill a little bit. He might not be as dominant.
Yeah.
Man, he shows up.
He clutched.
When the Rams needed him, he showed up. When the Broncos needed him, he showed up. When the Bills needed him throughout this entire game, he showed up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got Mahomes, and again, maybe I changed my opinion towards the end of the season if my like for current, or for like who's currently the best. But for me right now, it's Mahomes. The ring and the MVP are just too much to overcome.
Yeah, see, I fight with it because I'm honestly leaning with
tough.
you, but then I watch what this man be doing as well, and I also think about the same thing you're saying about like plop them in each other's situations or whatever, and I'm like, cool. But when we're reflecting about all that stuff, that was like the peak weapons around him, like talking about Mahomes. So I'm like, let's plop the other thing.
Yeah.
Plop Josh Allen over there.
And
I'm not going to say that they're not doing the same production because, I mean, you see the levels that they're both at right now. Like,
yeah,
I think that they would have been able to help Josh Allen out way more with his issues that he came into the league with.
Yeah.
He kind of rounded out over the past few seasons.
Yeah. I mean, again, you look at it and it's
but they're definitely close. It's close because the way how you're bringing up the MVP in the Super Bowl ring, it's like if Josh Allen goes out there, takes down Mahomes in the playoffs, gets that or Super Bowl ring or whatever, then it's like,
how do you not have him on that?
Yeah, it's up in the air. Then it's like you can viably take either one because there's no argument against either one at that point.
No, it's exactly like they're the two best quarterbacks in football, like easily. Like, and it's like, again, it's not close when you're talking about it. Like before the season, I would have made an argument for Rodgers. I can't make that argument now. Like they are unreal.
And I'm not even like confident in saying Lamar's 3 because I don't even know who would be 3.
Like, I mean, you take a look at it. Like here, I'm gonna go take a look at some of just the NFL quarterbacks we got, dude. Like, yeah, I don't.
No one's really taken that. Like,
yeah, I mean, because
we're up here too. Like, Steph,
you can't take Rodgers or Brady this year. No. So far. No. Again, I think both of
maybe
them
Herbert,
probably will rebound.
I like
Herbert's inconsistent
still like
too.
Yeah. I can't say that he's playing hurt or not because he's just playing. So
yeah. I mean,
and he's not looking the best. He's not looking as sharp as he came out looking until he got the
100%. I mean,
Tyrod
again,
Taylor.
They are. There's not a clear 3. I don't think. There is.
I would have said after the first 3 weeks, I would have been like Lamar easily, but then he's coming out playing a little inconsistent.
Yeah,
I can't. I'm not even confident in Joe Burrow. Like honestly,
no.
Because like that Saints game, like it's cool, but like it's the Saints, and also like why were y'all fighting in that game?
No, exactly. Like all the young quarterbacks really like. I don't. Sucks. Kyler Murray, yeah, he stinks.
Kyler Murray is like he's one of those like, in my opinion, he's one of those like put him in a college system and college players. Oh my god, he's the best player.
Yeah, I
throw him in the NFL with his addiction to Call of Duty. Like, come on, dude. Robbie Anderson better hope he ain't on double XP this weekend, bro.
The first 5 or 6 years of Russell Wilson fooled a lot of people into thinking you could take these short quarterbacks. Like, truly, it tricked, it bamboozled a lot of people because you're seeing now, like, what? Kyler Murray, not good. Baker Mayfield, not good. Like you're gonna see colleges are gonna stop, or not colleges, but like pro teams are gonna stop taking their chances on these guys because again, Russell Wilson he was legit like however long ago, but he's fallen off a cliff now too.
100%.
Yeah, Allen and Mahomes are so good, man. So
good. Like, dude, there'll be a lot of quarterbacks I'll be watching like where I'm literally nervous when they throw because I'm like, shit, this is a 50-50 ball. But when it's Allen and Mahomes, I'm pissed because normally I'm rooting against Mahomes. I'm pissed when I watch him throw because I'm like, damn it, they didn't get to him in time. That's a 20-yard pass. Allen, I'm just completely confident, especially if it's going up to Diggs. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Then all of a sudden, Gabriel Davis is like, here's a 50-yard touchdown.
What it feels like to me, honestly, and the only thing I can compare it to, in my personal experience, is two things. Well, three things. One is whenever I saw Rodgers aiming towards Devontae, I was like, oh, that's a catch. There's that. And then like 2016 through 2019, whenever I saw Russ loading up the deep ball, I'm like, Lockett's down there.
Bro.
Or
when it was Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
That was.
Or here's my basketball analogy. Before Kyrie Irving was on a team with Kevin Durant and I was rooting against Kyrie Irving, bro, every time I see him pull up, I'm like, that's going in. I'm like, it's going in. Like, because of course it is. Bro. Like, you know what I mean? No, so yeah. I 100% get that. Yeah. I 100% get that. And I truly think that they're like the only 2 or 3 guys in this league, or Allen and Mahomes, I think at this point, so far through this year, they're the only couple of guys who I see load up and I'm like, they got somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, damn it. Like, no,
literally,
exactly.
Like the only thing you can hope for is some Hunter Renfrow action, or like he's getting pressure in his face like last week and throws a pick to Johnson. That was just that was just perfect schemed. That wasn't a bad, horrible decision. He just was like, I'm trying to get this out.
Yep.
Didn't see the defender. So I mean, it's still a like, hey, he should have seen him, but I'm not like, Mahomes' watch, bro. You see that? He was sucking out there.
Yeah. Well, bro, I mean, you remember all the people saying that shit last year, right? Like Mahomes went on, like he had like a bad couple of games or something like that. And it's like, oh, the league figured him out. It's like, no, they didn't.
Yeah, come on.
Like, can we stop?
He's just dormant.
Like,
right
can
now.
we stop? Yeah, like literally, like here was his bad stretch at the beginning of the season. Here was his bad stretch. I'll do all these games in a row where he had like interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. And the one pick was to lose the game. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks versus Buffalo, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks versus Washington, then 0 touchdowns, 1 pick versus Tennessee, then 1 touchdown, 1 pick versus the Giants. That was his bad stretch. Everyone's like, oh, we figured him out. Then one touchdown against Green Bay, 5 touchdowns against Vegas, 2 touchdowns against Vegas again, 3 touchdowns versus the Chargers, 3 touchdowns versus Pittsburgh. And then that's not even counting what we saw from him in the playoffs. 5 touchdowns and 1 pick versus the Steelers, 3 touchdowns, no picks versus the Bills. Then 3 touchdowns, 2 picks in a loss, especially one of those wound up being a pretty costly against the Bengals. But I don't know. Everyone thought they had him figured out. And I'm sure, watch, Josh Allen's going to have like a bad stretch of 2 or 3 games where people are like, oh, they found out how to contain him. No, they didn't. They didn't. They found something that worked for 2 games. Like,
yeah. And most of the time, the stuff that's working against Allen is when Diggs is out the game, because then he's got to rely on everybody else. Yeah,
I mean, because it's like everyone keeps talking about Gabriel Davis as if he's like this like god. He's
good on that. You get him 20 yards out there, that's his.
Yeah, like, well, it's like he's like, he might be one of the best like low volume receivers I've ever seen. Like, I don't get
exactly.
It. Like,
that's the point. He don't get a bunch of passes. He's getting 2 passes for 94 yards.
Like he'll exactly like what was his stat line versus Pittsburgh? Like, three catches, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, bro, like here, listen, I'm gonna look at his career stats because this is fucking ridiculous. 30. Okay, sorry, I was about to say 37 catches. And I read the rest of the stats. Yeah, 84 catches, 17 touchdowns.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. 84 catches, 1,500 yards, and 17 touchdowns. He's getting 18.2 per clip. Per catch, 18.2 yards.
Yeah.
And that's this year he has 14 catches this year. Guess what he's averaging per catch?
20.
27. Bro. He's averaging 27. He has 4 touchdowns already this year. He's obviously going to set his career high. But like, I mean, you take a look at these games, bro. Like, obviously we talked about Pittsburgh, but it's like first game of the year, 4 catches, 88 yards. Second game of the year, his second, because he missed their second game. The third game of the year against Miami, he wasn't super great, and neither way he wasn't in Baltimore. But it's like, because he had a combined 4 catches for around, what would that be, 50 yards, no touchdowns. Then Pittsburgh, again, as I said, 3 catches, 171 and 2 touchdowns. And then last week, 3 catches, 74 yards and a touchdown. He's
a deep
he's
threat.
Unreal.
The definition of a deep threat.
Literally, like, like the biggest mistake that I think the Chiefs probably would have held on if they didn't give up that touchdown before half.
Yeah.
Like that touchdown before half where
No,
Josh Allen
I literally see
dive.
that's how you know that they're both on that level, because the way that I was in that playoff game when Mahomes had 13 seconds is the same way that I was when Josh Allen came out before half. I was like, oh, they got a field goal. And then Gabe Davis was just like, nah, how about a touchdown?
How about it? Yeah, exactly. No, and it's like, and the fact that they're able to pair him with Stephon Diggs, like, is like literally like, again, Gabe Davis, again, 3 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown on Sunday. But it's like, dude, Diggs had 10 catches, 148 and a touchdown, bro. like I was always, I don't want to say low on Stephon Diggs, but I never had him in my top 5 of receivers. But now I think he's undisputably top 5. Like I truly think he's undisputably top 5. Has 49 catches this year, almost about 650 yards and 6 touchdowns through 6 games. Like he's undisputably top 5. Screw it, fuck it. We'll throw in another quick one here. We'll just who are your top 5 receivers in the league?
Shit. Off the rip like that.
Off the rip. I'll give you mine. All right. Jefferson. Okay. I'm gonna go Jefferson 1. Mm-hmm. Or not 1. Oh yeah, actually, I'll go Jefferson 1. I'll list them in order. Jefferson 1, Adams 2, Cup 3, Diggs 4. Ooh. And then you have like a huge tie for 5 with like Hill or Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this year especially. I'm gonna take Hill over Chase so far. I'm gonna take Hill over Chase so far this year. But that list is movable.
Very, very interchangeable. Yeah. Mine. I'm gonna definitely go. Jay Jetters. Love me some Jay Jetters.
Jay Jetters.
Then I'm gonna go Stephon Diggs, Devontae. I'm a hater. Jamar Chase, and then Cooper Kupp, and then
you're gonna keep Hill out.
Yeah,
it's
I'm,
so.
I'm
tough,
a hater.
Isn't it?
I'm a hater, but also I'm a. I don't know.
You're still in your feelings about that playoff game where he threw up the peace sign, didn't get the taunting.
No, because I got my lick back in the Super Bowl.
Fair enough. That's true.
So, nah, I don't know. I'm also looking like, I mean, I'm gonna just throw it up there. I'm racist, so I might boot Coop up. I mean, out. So
I was like up. I was like, that doesn't sound like it.
Not that type of racist.
No. Again, well, it's
a very close race.
Dude, it is.
Debo just he doing it everywhere, so you can't discredit him. He ain't even got the chance to go out there and run routes. They're just like, bro, just give it to him.
Literally, like I'm looking at where he's
out
at
there in Philadelphia. If we're getting into the top 10,
yeah, he's 30th in
strong
receiving
Batman
yards,
and skinny Batman. He's 30th.
Is that AJ Brown and
Devontae
and Devontae Smith or Devonta Smith? Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of these guys who are like,
there's some talent out there.
There is, dude. It's
a lot of wide receiver talent.
There is, like, I don't like,
and none of it is out there in Green Bay.
Yeah, damn right, dude. Damn right. I can go back.
When I'm over here saying, bro, that's a plus side of having Allen Lazard is the chemistry and them knowing each other. When I'm saying that as a plus side for your offense, like,
right? No, it's
that's not a good sign.
No, yeah, no, it's like Lazard has looked better and better each week, but it's like he's not a number 1 caliber receiver, and like a large amount of the Packer fan base like tricked themselves into like thinking Lazard was this like.
I feel like
goon.
A lot of people,
like he was about to be like one of the best receivers in football. It's like, okay, he has 2 games.
Madden builds and they're like, oh, bet.
Yeah.
92 speed with a 6'5" frame.
Well, the stupid argument that they always use is because Allen Lazard, like last year especially, like he had such a low volume but so high touch. Like he had 40 catches and 8 of them were touchdowns. And everybody's like, oh, if they just, hey, if you give him Devontae level targets, he's going to be fine. It's like, no, he's like, what made him good is the fact that he
off of Devontae,
exactly, like
Devontae level targets,
like exactly. And it's like, again, they're going to need to figure it out. They really do.
With a Gabe Davis type of situation, but
yeah, I
trust Gabe Davis' hands a little bit more.
I do too, to be super honest with you. Like, I don't know. They don't have any talent, or not. I don't want to say any talent. They don't have the right talent.
They don't got talent right now, and they're a team that is supposed to be winning right now.
Exactly. It's like
when you're keeping Rodgers around, it's to win.
I said before,
to let him fizzle out.
I said before the show, the Seahawks did a better win now draft than the Packers did.
Yeah,
to be super honest with you, and maybe that's just like that their defensive picks haven't worked out. But it's like I don't see how they do. You needed to address the wide receiver room more than like you. Here, I'm gonna read off the list. Literally, like Allen Lazard,
like the worst wide receiving core into the draft, and they were just
pretty close. And then they just didn't touch it.
Yeah, let's not even address this.
Well, they were like, here, let's spend again. We have Allen Lazard. They re-signed Randall Cobb. They kept Randall Cobb. They went out and signed Sammy Watkins. So it's like, all right, you have a dude who's injury prone. He's good when he's not injured, but he's always injured, so he's not that good. Then you have Randall Cobb, who's now injured, and his best trait at this point in his career is chemistry with Rodgers. Not great. Really? Romeo Doubs, again, as I said, he's going to be good. But the Christian Watson pick, it looks worse and worse.
Having Allen Lazard and then going and getting him.
Yeah. It's like, bro, like he's a 6'5" gadget guy. So a 6'5" gadget guy so far this year.
West Welker.
He's played in 4 games so far this year. He has 7 catches. Doesn't have a touchdown catch. He has a touchdown run. But man,
and a crucial drop.
And a crucial drop. He has 10 touches on the entire year. 10 touches. Yeah, dude. The pick looks worse and worse. I tried to sell myself on the pick that it was gonna wind up being a good pick.
You were pissed, and then you were like, screw it. Let me go watch some of his highlights. There's got to be some bright spots.
Exactly. Like exactly. And here I'm gonna pull this up because I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because although there's going to be a lot of takes that I'm wrong on this season. I think there is. I think that this one is going to be my best take of the entire year. And it was that I wrote an article for Dairyland Express, which I write for, obviously. And I said that the Packers rookie wide receiver that's going to be the best. If you take a look at the article that I have up on the screen, who's going to have the best one? I said it was going to be Doubs. Who's going to have the best one. I'm looking for where it's at, but he's going to be. I said he was going to be on the field probably a little bit more than Watson because literally the only thing that Watson and they're both 6'5". They're both run blockers. They aren't going to have him on the field at the same time. I said that Romeo Doubs was going to have the best wide receiver season out of the Packers rookie wide receivers. And sat. You know what? I would have loved to be wrong. Like Christian Watson come out here and look like a wide receiver one. I would have loved to be wrong.
Eat my words.
Literally.
Stop trying to find
so far all the Packers are doing boys. So far all they're doing is making me look stupid. So far. Well, like they're making me look right, but I also went out and I look dumb. I definitely do look dumb. What did I have as their stat predictions so far? Here's what I had so far for their stat predictions. Christian Watson, I said 40 catches, 475 yards and 6 touchdowns, and I said 100 rushing yards as well. We are nowhere close to that. He has seven catches through 6 games of the season. Dobbs, I think I'm actually like, I'm almost at Dobbs's total. Like I underestimated what Dobbs was going to do. I think so far this year. Here, I'm gonna take a look. I know I underestimated that. I think I said that he was going to get like, I think I said he was going to get
500 yards.
I said
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 50 catches, 550 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's already at 26 catches and 2 touchdowns.
Sheesh.
And 234 yards. So he's like, he's 234 yards.
There.
So he's pretty much halfway there. So I don't know. They need to figure it out. I don't want to have to. I do not want to have to come back on this thing. I want them to. It's not going to happen because why would it happen, especially with the offense they had this year? Commanders. I want them to kick the shit out of the Commanders.
Big
just bury them. Dude, just absolutely bury them. Don't let them have a chance. I don't even care. I don't want Rodgers to have. I don't even want him to have 200 yards passing. I want the Packers to have 250 yards rushing. Literally, do not stop running the ball until you get a gain of less than 1. Do not stop running the ball. Run the ball down their throat the entire game. Stop with this stupid, 40 pass game or 45 passes a game bullshit. Let's stop with that. This isn't 2016 Rodgers. We don't have the weapons for this shit. All right, we've reached the end. We've had our social scrolling across the bottom the entire time. I am Emmitt Savoras at Emmitt J Savoras on Instagram as well as Twitter.
Bro, you meant to put SoundCloud.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Well, I mean, technically that's right, but
well, it's not. It's a different name.
Oh, it's not. Oh, well. Yeah. All right, hey, give me 2 seconds. I'll fix it.
Nobody about it.
Not bad.
Hey, fuck it.
There we go.
Oh, yep. Hey, we got to get these on Spotify.
Hey, let's do it. Hey, I could put. Hey, if you want to be in charge of that, hey, I got you.
Yeah, I bet.
I got
Let's
you.
Do it.
Hey, hey, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you